Good morning, boys and girls. How are you? My name is Mr. Bobby, and welcome to Sunday School at Christ Church. I hope that you guys are well and you've enjoyed the week. It's been an amazing week. Lots of changes outside with all the rain and the sunshine. All the trees are starting to bud out, and everything is turning beautiful outside. This week, for our Sunday school lesson, we're going to talk about Peter and Tabitha. Now, in today's Bible story, we're going to talk about a woman who was widowed. Her name was Tabitha. Now, Tabitha had a good reputation in the town of Joppa where she lived. Tabitha sewed clothes for women and children who were too poor to pay for material and make clothes for themselves. Tabitha made beautiful clothing for the poorest women in town. In the Bible, women were completely dependent on men. They looked to all the men for survival. If a woman's husband died, the woman's life took a drastic turn. Women were not allowed to own property, so if their husband died, they would be at the mercy of others to be able to live. Tabitha somehow had the resources to sew for others less fortunate. Tabitha was loved in her town, and when she became sick and died, her friends were overcome with grief because Tabitha had cared so much for them and loved them, and she was now gone. They may not have had anyone else to turn to. Peter was in a town close to Joppa, so the friends of Tabitha decided to send for him. They hoped Peter might be able to come and do something for Tabitha. When Peter arrived, he heard about all the acts of service that Tabitha had done in the town. Peter asked the people to leave the room. He knelt down. He prayed. Peter then commanded Tabitha to get up. And she opened her eyes and sat up. Her friends were astounded and overjoyed at the same time. Tabitha was well loved in her town because she lived a life of love through service to others. Some might say all she did was sew clothes. But the people who received those clothes knew they were sewn with love. We too can live a life of love through service without adding much to our already overflowing plates. So Tabitha added all kinds of hope, joy, and proof of love to these people in her town of Joppa. She constantly looked out for people who didn't have enough for themselves, and she sewed clothes for women and children. Now, looking at the actual Bible verses that are within this, this came from Acts chapter, let me look and see, give me a second, chapter 9, and this come from verses 36 to 43. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds, which she did. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died, whom when they had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber. And forasmuch as Lydda was nigh to Joppa, And the disciples had heard that Peter was there. They sent unto him 2 men, desiring that he would not delay to come to them. Then Peter arose and went to them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him weeping, and shewing the coats and garments which Tabitha had made, which she was with them. But Peter put them all forth, and kneeled down and prayed, and turning him to the body said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. And he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. And it came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon, a tanner. So Peter came and he prayed before Tabitha, and then he told her, arise. And Tabitha's eyes opened and she sat up. Now, so one of the big things that we learned in this story was that Tabitha did acts of love for all these other people. That is our share word for today. Love. Love. What do you think love means? How can you show love? What are things that you can do to show love? How do people show that they love you? Okay? So, in our story, Peter was summoned to help Tabitha. Peter came to help Tabitha because he loved her. Through Peter's love and service, the people where Tabitha lived learned about the love of Jesus. And the church grew. Okay? Who do you think, or who do you know, that is always doing things for other people? Do you know anyone like that? I'm sure you just said someone. For you, maybe someone in your family does stuff for you all the time. Maybe your teacher. Maybe you have a teacher that does stuff for you all the time. This is Teacher Appreciation Week. So, maybe you thank that teacher for the love that they show for you. Why do you think Peter prayed before he helped Tabitha? What do you think? I got inside the Wonder Box this week. So why do you think that he prayed before he knelt beside Tabitha? Do you think that he prayed to Jesus to help him make Tabitha arise? Okay, so we have a couple of coloring sheets today that we can do. Okay, this is a picture of Peter when he came to Tabitha and prayed to her and asked her to arise. Okay, and we have a picture of Tabitha clothing one of the children with some of the clothes that she had sewn. Okay, so parents, when you get these as PDFs, go ahead and make them larger. When you print, make them like 250%, and it'll be bigger like this. Okay, just in case it doesn't come through correctly. So you can show love like this too. You get this love every day, okay, and recognize it and say thank you. So there are so many people that are doing things for others out of love. Name someone you know who does things for others, and we will pray for them. Okay? Now, I'm going to pray for teachers. Now, whether you know it or not, I'm a school teacher, so, I try to show my love for everyone by teaching my knowledge of music. Okay? So you would say, Dear Jesus, thank you for whoever you're thankful for because they show so much love to you. Okay? So I would say thank you for teachers because throughout my years since I was born, I've had many, many teachers. Okay? And they've helped me all my life. Okay? So, let's bow our heads, put our hands together. Repeat after me. Dear God, thank you. Thank you for love. Thank you for, and you tell the person that you're thankful for. And thank you for loving us. Now, everyone, remember, you are a blessing to God and others. Let's do an amen all together. Everyone ready? Amen. Now, go out and share your love and extend it to everyone. Now, go on over, guys, and go to the music lesson with Mr. David and Jeffy. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson this week. Take care. See you next time.